Hello, I'm Isaac Allen and my candidate number is 0019. My first film, Olmec, will be of the action-adventure genre, and will follow Andreas on his quest through the last temple of Ozai to find his family's hidden and ancient relic. The opening sequence will begin with Andreas walking through some countryside searching for his destination. There is no dialogue in this first part, as the emotion will be shown by the action, body language, and facial expressions. Andreas will come across a little hut, where he finds an old hooded man who turns out to be the mentor of his late grandfather. They converse for a while, and the man feeds Andreas. During their time together, the old master tells Andreas some information so that he can find and figure out the destination of the last temple. The reason the old man isn't just giving our protagonist the answers, it goes back to his teachings as a mentor, and links back to Andreas' family and his past. The film will have a running time of around an hour and a half, which boils down to a mixture of the budget and how the content is being put into the story. If you have a story that only has enough content to last an hour and a half, but you try to stretch it over 2 hours and 15 minutes per se, then there will be either a lot of boring filler scenes, or the scenes will just seem unnecessarily drawn out. Now we've got some audience questions that I have asked potential audiences, and we're going to answer them. Question 1 is, what sort of soundtrack needs to be in the film? Now, I gave 3 options: dramatic, rock, and indie, and it looks like the dramatic music won by a landslide. There's some links to the different songs that I picked out right here, so that's kind of, they're supposed to be similar to that sort of thing. Question 2 was, what type of land vehicles should be present in the film? Quad bikes and jeeps are very popular because they can get through the sort of terrain that we're going to be filming quite easily. What kind of animals should be popping up as a comic relief? We decided on the lilac-breasted roller, as it's a colourful bird, and birds won by a landslide by 45%, whereas the rest were all under 20% of the audience's opinion. Question 4 would be, what colour shirt should Andreas wear? Now, beige was a very popular choice because we had 3 of which were beige, black and grey, and black and grey were under 40%, whereas beige was 50%, and I was thinking it could be dirty and unbuttoned at the top because it shows his experience. Question 5 would be, should Andreas wear glasses or not? They decided yes by 66%, and I believe they should be black plastic rimmed frames, with the metal lining on the bottom. Now, my second film is known as Space Fight. It will come under the sci-fi genre and will be based around 80s synth music. The 2 heroes are Hugo and Tiana, and their mission is to find a whole load of new species in order to fill their encyclopedia. The opening sequence will be a conversation back and forth with Hugo and his general. At this point we don't know that the soldier is our main hero, Hugo, but we will later on. The conversation is meaningful because we learn so much about his character in these first 3 minutes, based on how he acts in his mission reports, and from what we hear about his social life and problems on the battlefield. The reason we hear all of this is so that we can empathize with the character quickly. We learn his traits and personality early, so that we know enough about him to get on with and enjoy the story. The film will run for around 2 hours, and this is to keep up with modern day sci-fi films, and considering that it's a high budget movie, and it's made by Warner Brothers itself, it's got to live up to the standards that have been set by contemporary audiences. Now we've got some more audience questions for this film. Question 1 is, again, what sort of soundtrack needs to be played throughout the film, and as the film is going to be based around 80s synth, that was one of the options. The other one was dubstep because it's a more modern music taste, and 80s synth won by a landslide, 65% to 35%. The sort of sounds we want to be hearing is old school Daft Punk kind of stuff, obviously a lot of synthesizers and stuff like that. Question 2 was what type of land vehicles should be present, just like the last film, and we got the idea of futuristic motorcycles and cars. A lot of people like to see them without roofs, as it gives off kind of a open and free spirit vibe, and motorbikes don't usually have roofs anyway, so that kind of works out. Question 3 is what kind of creature should feature as a pet? Now we gave 3 options: a reptile, a cute humanoid creature, obviously meaning standing on 2 legs, or a furry quadruped. And reptiles were like by far the most popular, and we thought they could be winged and green as like the main pet, which would be a lot of people's favorite character. Question 4 was what should Hugo's signature color be? Now this is the type of question because the costumes in this film will all feature like neon lighting, which gets its influence from the movie Tron, and the neon lighting will just like line the clothing, but the clothing will be normal modern day like jackets and t-shirts and stuff, but it will just be lined with these lights. And Hugo's color was decided to be yellow, and obviously it's got the going to be on all of the neon lights and stuff. Question 5 was what should Tiana's signature color be, and now we decided blue would be the best choice, we being the audience and I. Again, the neon lights surrounding the clothing. So that's all we have time for. Thank you for listening to my presentation.